Continue breathing and relax the mind. Continue. Breathe in and breathe out. Another deep breath in and slowly let go. Continue. One more deep breath in and very gently let go. We'll do a active meditation. Mostly a contemplation. Let's get ready for that. If you're driving, don't do that. Otherwise, one more deep breath in and gently let go. And very gently become aware of your body. Just mentally observe the outline of the body. My nose starts and ends here. My face outline is here. My head is here. Throat and the whole body is here. Just become aware of the boundaries of your body. Take a deep breath in and gently let go. And once again, become aware of the experience of your body. By experience, I mean, is it feeling heavy? Is it feeling light? Is it having any pain? Is it rigid? Is it flexible? Whatever is the experience, just become aware of the experience of your body, the sensations in the body. Take a deep breath in and let go. And become aware of the weight of your body. Are you feeling any weight in your body? Could be 30, 40, 50 kg, 80 lb to whatever is your weight. Deep breath in, hold the breath, and become fully aware of the weight of the body. And as you breathe out, just imagine you have put all that weight on the seat, on the floor, wherever you are sitting, and let go the breath. Now just gently become aware. All of a sudden, your body is weightless. And see the boundaries of the body, and all the sensations are within the body. Just see where are all those sensations within that boundary or outside the boundary. Take a deep breath in and gently let go. Another deep breath in and gently let go. And just relax a little bit more. Now, in your mind, there is an image of your body. Now, drop the impression of the boundary. Just let go of the idea of the boundary. And as you let go the idea of the boundary, just become aware of the sensations. What happens to the sensations? Are you still feeling those while boundary is not there? Let the boundaries melt away. Let the boundaries melt in the space within your room. So now there is no boundary of your body. While boundary is molten, you become aware of the sensations within your body and identify now where are these sensations happening. There is no boundary. Where are these sensations happening? Now gently lift your awareness as if you are watching yourself from the ceiling. You are watching yourself from the ceiling. You need not to know your face and size and shape of the body. Just the idea, okay, I'm watching myself from the top of the ceiling. Lift yourself a little bit up, the awareness, your mental eye. Now just imagine you are sitting with all the people, lot of people around you, and you are watching yourself from the a little heightened space. Maybe let's say two-story building, three-story building. And you can watch yourself, you can watch all the bodies surrounding you in your mind. Now, whatever comes in your imagination, whatever is your scenario, you are sitting in your bedroom or in a marketplace, in a restaurant, in a temple, in a mall, in a movie theater, whatever imaginary situation you see and whatever image are coming, let it be. You are one of your body is one of the object in that scene. And you keep lifting yourself a little up and let more objects get added into that. It could be buildings, cars, people, trees, whatever is coming. Let the vision expand. And you just keep watching. You can move attention on the other bodies also in your imagination, other objects also in your imagination. You can go back and forth and forward, left, right. You can scan the entire scenario. And you can just your body is one of the objects there. There is nothing special. Just keep roaming, visiting, inspecting your mental imagery without any specific attachment. Continue. Let the scenes come and go. No need to create a specific scenario. No need to recreate something from past or any fantasy. Whatever is coming, let it be. Continue doing it for next 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Keep scanning, keep moving the attention. You are just observing with minimal effort, or I would say minimal intention, but have the vivid vision, vivid imagination. Keep screening everything which comes in your awareness. Pay more attention to other things, other people, faces, objects, sceneries, buildings, trees, animals, whatever is coming. Keep moving from one object to other object. And relax. Just stop the screening and just relax. Whatever is coming and going, let it be. Whatever comes in the attention, let it be. Whatever goes away, let it be. You just relax. Let the awareness be expanded. Let all the thoughts come and go. Doesn't matter. Relax. Drop all the efforts. All feelings and emotions, let them be. Relax. Let the consciousness spread like water, liquid, or air. Your awareness in whatever state it is, let it be. A deep breath in and slowly let go. Another deep breath in and gently let go. Very gently Once again, become aware of the scenery in the mind, all the object, faces, places, events. Become aware of the boundary of your body. Stay at your vantage point wherever you were watching. From there only, become aware of the boundary of your body. And from there only, become aware of the sensations and emotions inside your body, mind. You stay at that vantage point, observing the body, sensations, and all the objects from that vantage point. Deep breath in and let go. Another deep breath in and gently let go. And taking your own time, slowly and gradually, without losing the expanded consciousness, whenever you feel complete, we may open our eyes. Let's remember Gurudev for a moment. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Shri Gurave Namaha. Prayer. यतः सर्वाणि भूतानि प्रतिभान्ति स्थितानि च यत्रैवोपश्मं यान्ति तस्मै सत्यात्मने नमः. Salutation to that reality in which all the elements and all the animate and inanimate beings shine as if they have an independent existence, and in which they exist for a time and into which they merge. ज्ञाता ज्ञानं तथा नेयं द्रष्टा दर्शन द्रश्यभुः कर्ता हेतुः क्रिया यस्मत् तस्मै ज्ञाप्त्यात्मने नमः. Salutation to that consciousness which is the source of the apparently distinct threefold divisions of knower, knowledge and known, seer, sight and seen, doer, doing and deed. स्फुरन्ति शिखरा यस्मत् आनन्दस्याम्बरे वनौ सर्वेषां जीवनं तस्मै ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः. Salutation to that bliss absolute, the ocean of bliss, which is the life of all beings, whose happiness and unfoldment is derived from the shower of spray from that ocean of bliss. Okay. We'll start the session by watching one YouTube video. So just let's have a look. This video talk about the macro level and micro level. So let's just have a look at this sharing. Okay, let's see. कुछ समझे? Eh? Looks like audio was not there. Maybe the sharing of audio didn't work. My apologies. But did you see the visual? Hmm?
Yeah. Yes, visual was great.
What is big and what is small? Isn't it all relative? Eh? Earth seems so big, but from the solar system perspective, Earth is a tiny, not even marble, it is a dot. You go a little further, then the whole solar system becomes a dot. You go a little further, galaxy becomes a dot. You go further, whatever is that cosmic cloud, God knows what they call, that becomes this thing. And then you zoom out, coming, and then inside the retina, like iris, pupil, they become so big, and then You can see the red blood cells, white blood cells, so huge. Then you go further, further, and then you see nuclei. It is another universe there, right? The whole level which you saw outside, very similar this thing. But what is interesting here is the observer. Hmm? When observer is observing, the scale of time and space is based on the your vantage point as a observer. If you are seeing Earth from the Jupiter or Pluto, how it will look? And when you are sitting on the Earth, how does it look? Observer. Hmm? See, the same thing is micro level. So this is for something to wonder. The sum of this thing will start making a little sense while we'll read little later. So now we come to the earth and ask somebody to read it. Who would like to volunteer and read it for maybe 20 minutes? Who can volunteer? Anybody
Yeah,
wants to?
I can read.
Okay. And I will change the page. You can read you can see the screen or shall I increase the font?
I,
Okay.
I can read it.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Part 3 on creation. Akasha.
We had read that. Now let's start from now I shall declare, right?
Okay.
3:1. Yeah.
Okay. I shall now declare to you the creation and its secret. For it is only as long as one invests the perceived object with reality that bondage lasts. Once the notion goes, with it goes bondage. Here in this creation, only that which is created grows, decays, and then goes either to heaven or hell, and it gets liberated. During the cosmic dissolution, the entire object creation is resolved into the infinite being, which is variously designated as Atma, Brahman, Truth, etc. by the wise to facilitate communication and dialogue. This same infinite self conceives within itself the duality of oneself and the other. Thence, mind arises as a wave arises when the surface of the calm ocean is disturbed. But please bear in mind that just as a bracelet of gold is but gold, and though gold exists without being a bracelet, the bracelet does not exist without gold or other metal. The qualities and the nature of the created and the potentiality of creation are inherent in the creator. The mind is non-different from, has no existent independence of the infinite self. Even as the mirage appears to be very real river of water, this creation appears to be entirely real. And as long as one clings to the notion of the reality of you and I, there is no liberation. Not by merely and verbally denying such a notion of existence is it obliterated. On the contrary, such denial itself becomes a further distraction. Rama, if the creation is in fact real, then there is no possibility of its cessation. For it is an immutable law that the unreal has no real existence and the real does not cease to be. Austerity, meditation, and such other practices can therefore not cause its cessation, not enlightenment. As long as the notion of creation lasts, even the contemplation samadhi, in which there is no movement of the thought, nirvikalpa, is not possible. Even if it were possible, the moment one returns from such contemplation, the creation which it arises in the mind, movement of thoughts, creates the notion of created objects. Even as the essential.
One. Yeah. Lokesh, we'll stop for a moment. Just a few key points here. Yeah. What happens is that entire objective creation is resolved into infinite being, which variously designated as Atma, Brahman, Truth, etc. by the wise. Okay. The same infinite self conceived within itself the duality of oneself and other. Thence mind arises as a wave arises when the surface of calm ocean is disturbed. Okay. What happened in your meditation? How one became multiple, right? You sat and all of a sudden so many things started happening in your meditation. Okay. So one became multiple, and then when you open the eyes, multiple became whatever is our current reality. Okay. Now let's see this one is this even the mirage appears to be very real river of water. This creation appears to be entirely real. Now this is very interesting thing, right? Uh, Everybody knows mirage, right? It shows like as if it is water, but there is no water. It is like depending upon where you see the mirage. Sometime when you're driving, you see the water on the road, and if it is desert, it will come as a lake. It just appears as that it is real, but it is not real. What changed? The observer conceived that object in the mind. Hmm? If you see from an angle, there will be water. If you see it from a different angle, there will be no water, right? So what is happening is the observer imagines that object within itself. So in the perception, that object appears. So this entire creation, it says that Yoga Vasishta is that actually it is reflection within our consciousness. Could you, when you were meditating, could you see your body? Mentally, it may not be the same exact shape and form as you imagine, but you can feel this is body, and then body dissolves once you let go, and then you can see all other different faces here and there and all that thing, event, places, God knows what all you have seen, right? But where it was happening, inside who, the whole that creation was within you. Now there is a little difference is that this creation, when the absolute starts imagining, dreaming, because absolute is real. The gold bracelet is not other than gold. So it becomes a solid reality in that dream. For us, it is a little diluted, a little further. So it is just a figment of imagination. But here it is very important thing as long as one clings to the notion of reality of you and I, there is no liberation. I am separate from rest of this entities. That only happens when we start seeing the creation from the vantage point of this body. When you see from a little elevated awareness, could you see that your body became one of all those other names, faces, what you are seeing? Was there any distinction between this body and that body? Right? A little thought experiment which just did it, right? But if you bring the attention back, even in your meditation, oh, this is my body, all of a sudden there is a division. This is a chair, this is outside of my body, these are things in my mind. But if you just elevate, lift yourself up from the identification with the body, all of a sudden everything can be inside you. So that is something, it is just a pointer. I'm not saying that you have to accept and agree with that, but just a seed thought for you. Okay. So not by merely and verbally denying such a notion of existence is it obliterated. On the contrary, such denial itself become a further distraction. We will ignore this, right? Rama, if the creation is in fact real, there is no possibility of its cessation. For it is an immutable law that unreal has no real existence and real does not cease to be. Okay, we'll skip a little bit. Even as the essence exists in all things, as oil exists in sesame seed, as aroma exists in flowers, the faculty of objective perception exists in perceiver. Even as the dream objects are experienced only by the dreamer, the objects of perceptions are experienced by the perceiver. Just as from a seed, the sprout arises in due time, This potentiality becomes manifest as a notion of creation. It simply says that within the perceiver, there is ability to have this perception, and it comes from the senses, and it is just like a potentiality. And as soon as this whole phenomena starts, this potentiality becomes or manifests as the notion of creation. It doesn't say creation, notion of creation. Just like within our minds, we have the potentiality of dreaming. Yes or no? Nobody plans our dreams. We sleep and dream just happen. Nobody plans our dream. Oh, I want to dream Paris in tonight's dream or something. There is a potentiality, and then the experience come with that. So same thing is explained here in different words. So now I will skip this part, Akasja and this story, and we will go a little further. As the previous recommendation, you read it. In creator, there is neither a seer nor an object of perception. Yet he is known as self created. He shines in cosmic consciousness as a painting in the mind of artist. Now it talks about creation, right? So if there is a creation, there has to be a creator. Now this is a very interesting thing because Yogavasishta has a lot of angles, right? So some of the angles, my intellect agrees. I'm talking about myself. Some of the angles, my intellect doesn't agree. So what I do is I ignore some of those things. Otherwise, what happens is that if intellect gets stuck with something, then you cannot be at rest and you cannot move further along, right? So the one simple idea I have implemented in my life is that if I'm trying to understand something, if I'm get totally stuck with any concept, I park it. You know, in agile thing methodology, you park some discussion. So I park something so that my intellect is not rebelling against that thing, right? So this idea of creator can be interesting. At least it was for me. I will leave it to all of you because don't start looking for a creator somewhere. This is very interesting concept here. But it says in creator there is neither seer nor the object of perception. There is no one who is seeing and there is no object because seer needs a scenery. If there is no scenery, seer will not perceive anything. And if there is no seer, there is no one who is to appreciate or perceive the scenery. Yet he is known as self created. He shines in cosmic consciousness as a painting in the mind of an artist. The painting exists in the mind of the artist before it becomes a physical reality. I'll leave this thing for you guys to do a little bit more. And it talks about in creator there is no memory of past since he had no previous karma. So it says that, right, that you need to have some memory to have some idea, right? If you are dreaming about car, you must have seen car somewhere, otherwise you cannot dream a car, right? So from where that idea comes from memory. And the whole creation, the reflection, it says that from some latent impression or something which later we will see if we understand. So in the creator there is no memory of the past since he had no previous karma. He does not even have a physical body. The unborn is of spiritual substance. Mortal beings have two bodies, as it were, one physical and other spiritual. But the unborn creator has only the spiritual, since the cause that give rise to the physical does not exist in him. It's simple, like I put in simple words. What I understood is for us, we take this body because we have some karma, some latent impressions, and that is how we took this body. Okay. And when we leave this body, if we have certain strong tendencies, that will form the another set of body. So what it's simply saying is it is a memory, strong memory. Karma is the latent tendencies, latent impression, which is basically some form of information, which is memory propagates into taking the next physical body. But for creator, there is nothing like that. So creator doesn't have a physical body. And it is giving us the mechanism that, okay, whatever is our impression, we take the similar type of physical body. So if we continue accumulating impressions, whatever is the strongest impression when we depart, that will decide the shape and form of our Next, body. He was not created, but he is the creator of all beings. Surely the created, like a bracelet, is of same substance as that of which it was created, gold. The creator's thought being the cause of this manifold creation, and the creator himself having no physical body, the creation too is truly the nature of thought without materiality. Now, this is that circular problem. One side it says physical, one side it says that no, there is no materiality, because where this creation occurred in something which lacks physical, this thing, like it is just a consciousness, this idea. So since it didn't have physicality, it doesn't have the materiality, the creation cannot have materiality. You cannot make gold bracelet out of copper, right? You can make gold bracelet out of gold only. If you are making bracelet out of gold, it will be out of gold only. So it says the creation doesn't have a materiality because the creator itself doesn't have a materiality. Something to ponder about. A throbbing arose in the creator whose thought had spread out as the universe. So there was a thought which is spread out as a universe. You created your universe, right? In the meditation, you said it was a tiny micro universe. Like you created whatever it could be, one people, 10 people, 100 people, some object. Okay. But that was the impulse of thought within you. The same thing. A throbbing arose in creator whose thought has spread out as the universe. This throb brought into being the subtle body made of intelligence of all being. So all being, it is just the radio wave. Zzz, where is the radio wave? Everybody gets the same radio wave, right? When you are listening a song, it is the same radio wave. Out of thousands of radios, every radio receives the same radio wave. So the same impulse manifests as the song in 100,000 television sets. It is not one thought going to one television set. The same impulse you can see manifested in thousand million television set. Same thing it is saying that that throb created the subtle body of all beings. All beings, the subtle body came out from that only. Made only of thought, all these being only appear to be though they felt that appearance was real. So all the images and pictures in your own imagination or in your dreams, they all think that it is real, right? And you also think it is all real. However, this appearance thus imagined to be real produce realistic results. Important part. However, this appearance thus imagined to be real produce realistic results or consequences, even as sexual enjoyment in a dream does. Similarly, even the creator, the holy man of the story, we skip that, okay? Though he has no body, appears to have body. The creator is also of a dual nature, consciousness and thought. Consciousness is pure, thought is the subject to confusion. Hence, he appears to come into being, arise, though he doesn't so arise. So, two part, the consciousness, the pure intelligence, awareness, the words cannot capture. Just know that, like inside you, without thought, also you exist. I am, isn't it? If you are not having any thought, any idea, then also I am is there, though it is void of experiences. And then there is a thought, there is a impulse, there is a throbbing. So in the creator also the same thing. We are just a tiny reflection of that. Similarly, okay, so consciousness is pure, thought is subject to confusion. Hence, he appears to come into the being, arise, though he doesn't arise. He is the intelligence that supports the entire universe. And every thought that arises in the intelligence gives rise to a form. See inside you. Do you have a thought which doesn't have a form? Did you ever have a thought which did not have a form inside your mind? You have thought of car, immediately there is a form. It may not be very vivid. You thought about a human, there is a form inside you. Isn't it? Thought about a problem, there is a situation around that. Did you ever had a thought without a form? Think about it. I'll give 30 seconds to you to investigate. Can you ever have a thought in your consciousness awareness which doesn't give the impression of a form, not a real form, a impression of the form. Do this thought experiment. Okay. So, though all these forms are of nature of pure intelligence, on account of self forgetfulness of this and of the thought of physical forms, they freeze into physical forms. Even as goblin, though formless, are seem to have forms on account of perceived delusion. Very clear, right? That creator thinks it is physical, so it becomes physical because it is a three-dimensional and dimensional reality from this, right? But for us, even us, when we see that a snake in a rope, the rope becomes a snake, isn't it? The rope doesn't convert into the snake. I think in Sanskrit they call vivartan, that something transforming into something. The original never changed into something else, but it appears to be something else. You know that when we see a snake in a rope, the rope did not change into a snake. It just appeared so real. Rope remained rope, but it appeared as a snake. So same thing here is that because of forgetfulness, because of the ignorance, it appears that it is formed. So consciousness never changed itself. It never transformed into a form, but it just appeared as a form, as so real, just like a snake out of a rope. I think it is interesting. You have to relax and it will be understood. But the concept you understand, vivartan, right? No transformation into a different form, but it appears so real as if it is a different form. Does it make sense? Yes, no? Okay. Okay, okay. They freeze into physical form even as goblins, though formless, are seen to have forms on account of perceiver's delusion. The creator, however, is not subject to such delusion. Hence, he is always of a spiritual nature, not materialistic. The creator is spiritual, and even so, his creation too in is in reality spiritual in essence. So it is just telling that bracelet out of gold remains gold. It cannot be silver bracelet out of gold, right? So the creator is spiritual. So creation is also spiritual. There is no material reality. It just appears, vivartan. Okay, it just appears as if it is real materialistic sense. We'll see. Hmm. This creation is causeless. What was the cause of your dream? Nothing. It is just the tendency is there. It is no cause, right? Hence, it is essentially spiritual, even as supreme being Brahman is. The materiality of creation is like castle in the air, an illusionary perception of one's own mind imaginary. Very beautiful example. Castle in the air. In the air. You sit down, lie down, and start seeing the cloud, and you see it is elephant. How many of you have done when you were kids? You see elephant, you see butterfly, you see someone, but was there anything? It was imagination. So that is castle in the air. Again, it is vivartan. There was no actual change in the clouds. It just appears so real. Cloud remain cloud, but we form a solid image out of our own imaginary imagination. Okay. The creator is the mind or pure intelligence is his body. Thought is inherent in the mind. The object of perception is inherent in perceiver. Who has ever discovered the distinction between two? Let me read it slowly. The creator is the mind. Mind or pure intelligence is his body. Thought is inherent in the mind. The object of perception is inherent in the perceiver. Who has ever discovered the distinction between the two? Can you have thought without mind? Thought always is there in the mind, right? And can you experience mind without thought? We only experience mind when there is some thought, isn't it? If there is no thought, lull. There is no nothing. It's zero experience, right? So thought and minds are inseparable. This is just like ice and water. It is the same, right? Inherent. And the object of perception is inherent in the perceiver. Can you ever imagine anything outside your perception? If you have to perceive, let's say you see a car, where do you see a car? Inside you or outside? The stimuli is outside, but the perception is where? Inside. Can you hear something outside of you? No. The sound may appear from outside, but the perception of that sound is where? Inside. The taste, it may appear coming from outside, but the experience of the taste is where? Totally inside. So there is no object which is outside of your perception. We can never experience an object which is outside of your perception. Does it make sense? It may feel a little weird. The here is a difference is that you may think object is out of your body. You see that the vantage point come into the picture now. Okay. So if you see from the what you call focus or locus, when your focus or locus is your body, then it is outside, right? But if you ignore your body for a moment, right? Then what happens? Everything which is in your perception, whatever you perceive, it is within you. So the object of perception is never outside of the perception. Whatever you see, it is never out of your perception. Whatever you hear is never out of your perception. The only thing we see from the vantage point, from the body, if you see, oh, I am inside the body, then sound is outside the body. When you see from the vantage point of being inside the body, then food is outside of the body. But you saw, right? When you were meditating, you lifted your awareness up. Was body inside you or outside you? You were outside the body or body was outside you, right? So you see that it is just that strong identification with the body and that perception that we are within the body. It appears that objects are outside me, outside of my perception. But the reality is, we can never perceive anything which is outside our perception. You cannot perceive Golden Gate until it is inside your perception. I think it is a very interesting thing. You have to tilt your understanding to understand. Yeah, Naveen, you have a comment, looks like.
No, just thinking through that,
Yeah.
how the perception actually matters. Um, I was thinking if someone is born blind, does the word exist for them?
One dimension of the world doesn't exist or they don't
Right.
experience, right?
So there is no perception because vision is one of the main things that we are depend upon to know the
Mm-hmm.
external world. So
Mm-hmm.
without that, um, there is a perceiver, but an object of perception, does it exist or not? I'm not clear.
No, see, whatever you can perceive, that is always in your perception. For that person, that doesn't exist. The color doesn't exist because it is out of the perception. The red will only exist if it is within the perception. So if you close your, I close my eyes, okay, I can touch, okay, so I can touch my phone. The phone through the perception of touch becomes part of my perception and then only it exists. Yes or no? So object is there when I touch, it became part of my perception, then only it exists for me. Okay. So you can yourself can do this, right? You close your eyes, the object doesn't exist, but you touch, then only it exists because that is part of your perception. There is no object which can exist for you if it is not part of your perception. For you, question is for you. We can never have any object out of our perception. Okay. So this entire world is part of your perception.
So as a corollary, we can say if all the panchendriyas, all the five does not work, what would be the case then?
It many time it happens like deep sleep, all panchendriya do not work, right? It is not like you have to struggle. Every night 6 to 8 hours, we are in that state. So indriyas give the experience. Okay. They help with certain type of experience. But there is always a experience of emptiness. Where even if you sleep, you always exist. A flavor of experience is always there. The flavor of experience is absence of experience. When we sleep, the experience is absence of other experience, but I am. It is not so vivid. Try it tonight, right? With this intention, you sleep that, okay, I am. Nobody says that, oh, where was I? Like, did you ever woke up in the morning and say, oh, where was I? We always know I was here on the bed, right? If we have lost that continuity, we'll wake up and say, where am I, right? All of a sudden, that idea will come. So even if we are sleeping, there is a experience of no experience. And that experience happens in emptiness. So when all these objects, they are embedded in your perception. Your question corollary very strongly hints that, right? If you didn't have the perception, that object doesn't exist, right?
Hmm.
But you exist. That emptiness exists. This is something experiential. I think it will be very difficult. The more intellectual conversation we have, the more difficult it will become. I would say, said, let it be. Like, like children, where is the nose? This is the nose, right? Not to become ENT especially, but just see, oh, Panchendriya do not work. When I'm sleeping, all my five senses are not working. Then where are the objects? Do you know that your bed and table and sofa and people around you when you are sleeping? So objects are embedded in the perception only. When perception goes away, object goes away. Perception dissolve, object dissolve. But there is one definite emptiness that always stays, right? In that, mind shines. In mind, thought shines. In thoughts, the perception of object shine, right? I think we had discussed in one of the sessions. Okay. So I'll leave all of you to do a little self reflection or self observation about this. Okay. So shall we move further, Naveen, with your permission?
Let's please continue.
Yeah. Even as empty inertness, inert nothingness is known as space, mind is empty nothingness. Where is your mind? How solid is this mind? You may have all the encyclopedia. Where is the mind? Okay. Whether the mind is real or unreal, it is that which is apprehended in object of perception. Do you know your mind is real or not? If you don't experience any object, do you experience your mind also? In deep sleep, where is the mind? Something to very interesting. The mind is apprehended in the objects of perception. Without reflection of objects, in the first of all, if mind is not there, objects do not reflect. But if object do not reflect, we don't even see the mind also. This is a very interesting phenomena. Okay. Rama, thought is mind. No thought, no mind. Okay. There is no distinction between the two. The self that is clothed in the spiritual body is known as mind. It is that which brings the material or physical body into existence. Okay. Ignorance, samsara, repetitive history, mind step, bondage, impurity, darkness, and inertia all are synonymous. Okay. This is very loaded, this thing. It is very loaded. It says ignorance and repetitive history means all this repetitive experience. Our whole samsara is repetitive experience. Food is repetitive experience, smell, taste, inner emotions, everything is repetitive. The flavor may change, but it is the same repetition, repetition, repetition. Like once we take birth, it's the same repetition, a little variant of this, but same experiences. Mind step, what is inside our mind? Bondage, we feel bondage. Impurity, darkness, and inertia all are synonymous. Okay. If we don't have the ignorance that, oh, I am the body, if we don't have this ignorance, then what happens is that, okay, all experiences are arising and falling in me, falling in me, falling in me. it doesn't matter. Repetitive existence, mind, this thing, they lose the meaning. But just because of the forgetfulness of the real nature creates all these various kind of flavors of this thing, mind disturb, bondage, impurity, darkness, etc., etc., etc. Now interesting thing in a blue color is experience alone is the mind. It is none other than the perceived. Whatever we experience is only the mind. And it is none other than the perceived, right? Something to ponder about. What is the mind? Mind is just a reflection of whatever object we are perceiving. It could be thought, it could be experience, but it is just the experience of that object, the reflection, and that is inside us only. It is not outside. Okay? There's something I'll leave it with you because it cannot be expressed in words. At least I cannot express skillfully in the words. Yes, Raji.
So, sorry, how can we go beyond mind?
Why you want to go beyond mind? You cannot go beyond mind because mind is part of you only, isn't it?
Or let me ask the question like, how can I see things as it is rather than applying whatever my perceivance is? Like, there may be some places I may see like whatever I learned, I may project like that. But in some places, I wanted to see the reality, whatever it is, the truth. I wanted to see like that. How do I see it?
You want a continued experience of pure consciousness, right? That is what it, if you boils down. During meditation, you feel you experience oneness, right? There is no confusion. No, this question doesn't arises in the deep meditation. It doesn't arises when you are deep asleep, right? Only in the waking state, thought is confusion. Didn't it talks about thought is confusion? When we are in awake, like whatever waking state, mind has thought. Thought is nothing but the confusion. Okay. Now, what you want a perpetual clarity when the mind and thought itself is synonymous of confusion with one thing or other thing, right? So now that is where the it talks about yoga, the chitta vritti nirodh, right? The cessation of the thoughts, like the lesser are the thoughts, the more is the bliss and the awareness and continuity, right? That is one thing. The second thing is the absolute understanding of knowledge. Oh, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not this thing. Now problem is we want to understand this whole clarity through our mind. Okay, we don't want to drop the mind, we don't want to drop the identification with the body, right? Now it becomes a problem. You don't want to leave your house, but you want to reach to Paris. You are getting this thing, right? You want to go to Paris with your house. Your house is the identification with the body, identification with the mind, identification with the emotion, identification with the story so far, right? So from that perspective, you want to arrive to a different reality, different understanding. How it is going to happen? To go to Paris, you have to leave the house. Yeah. And that is where Yoga Vasishta slowly takes us, because the problem is we identify so much with our thoughts, we identify so much with the body, we identify so much with the emotions and the story within us. And then we want, like being in home, we want to go to Paris. That is the confusion. But slowly it takes you out. It says that okay, okay, chalo bahar ghum ke aate hain. Let's go to the airport and we'll come back. So while you are going back, you realize that oh, my home is different, but there is outside a bigger world, right? But then eventually we go back to the home kind of thing. I'm just like trying to create a analogy, right? But once you understand, oh, I can go back to home whenever I want. I can go to the Paris. But if I go a little upper, like suborbital, then you can see yeah, everything is same, right? Then this bondage starts slowly decreasing. Now, it will be very difficult to continue with this identity of Raji and the story of the Raji and the story of this thing and gain the clarity. It's little challenging, right? So the lesser is the identification with other things, the more clarity dawns. Does it make sense? And then there will be like that, just like consciousness. Consciousness is real and it has thoughts also, right? It has two. It is pure consciousness, creator as consciousness, and the thought. And you become aware, oh, thoughts are arising and falling in me. This whole phenomena is arising and falling in me. And we started taking as dream. Gurudev, how many times he says, life is like a dream, life is like a dream, life is like a dream, right? If we stop giving so much importance to whatever happening right now, do you think there will be confusion? If you just say, okay, fine, whatever is happening is just like a dream, will it bother you? Right? But we take it as a so real, solid reality, and then the confusion becomes compounded. Okay, so I think this is where it is slowly, slowly telling that material existence doesn't exist. It is just the experience inside us. The perception is embedded inside us. The objects are embedded in perception. Perception is embedded in the mind, in the thoughts. The thoughts are embedded in the mind, and mind is just the reflection of the kind of a distorted part of the consciousness. Then you go back, oh, aho niranjano, chidananda rupa shivoham shivam. I am pure consciousness. Then identification changes, and then hopefully one day there will be more clarity. And one day is today. Okay, there will be no other day. I think last week we talked, right? So your question is, yes, and this is very important question. I intellectually I hear, I maybe I understand, maybe I want to understand, I believe, but this is not my reality. You are saying you are creator, but that is not my reality as of now, right? This is the confusion, right? So we relax, we go step by step, step by step, step by step. Okay, nobody can give it to you. Okay, and nobody can take it away from you, because that is your true nature, my true nature. It is realization. One day we wake up with solid, I've been dreaming so vividly, as Raji, as all those situations, right? So the more confidence we have in the dream, the lesser confidence you have in the waking, right? And the very interesting thing, I was just listening to someone, he says that, can you carry your dream when you wake up? How much dreaming content you can keep it when you are awake? Zero, absolutely zero, right? So when we awake, the whole idea of whatever is idea, very likely it will become zero. Are we ready to take it as zero? So we want to preserve some part of the dream, and we want to wake up, right? So this is very gradually taking us towards the reality. It is not difficult in reality. It is not very difficult. It is the identification with various things that gives the idea of bondage. This is what it is saying, right? Ignorance, repetitive history, mind step, bondage, impurity, darkness, and inertia. All are synonymous. All are synonymous. But it is intellectual, this thing. You have to find your own experience. Does it make sense, Raji? And this comes as a desperation, which is a good sign that, okay, good, I'm done. I'm done, kind of thing. But it is done. That is,
Got home just in time.
yes. Naveen, you want to say something?
No, it was not me.
Okay. So the entire universe is forever non-different from the consciousness that dwells in every atom. Even as an ornament is non-different from gold. Just as an ornament potentially exists in gold, the object exists in the subject. It is just telling that the entire universe is no different from consciousness, and the consciousness is everywhere. So no, nothing is different, but that is not our perception. This is where the problem with the identification of body comes. You see that? This is the boundary, right? We did it, right? Today's meditation. This is the boundary. Then everything else is different, right? But if the identification of boundary is not there, do you see anything was outside you in your at least meditation a little bit, tiny bit, right? Something to ponder. It is a just a pointer. When the notion of the object is firmly rejected and removed from the subject, then consciousness alone exists without even an apparent or potential objectivity. This is the key. This body is just the idea of object. Emotions, idea of object. Thoughts, idea of object. And we so truly believe in that. If it is firmly rejected, hmm, and remove from the subject is which is you and me, then conscious alone exists without even an apparent or potential objectivity. When this is realized, evils like attraction and repulsion, love and hate cease in one's heart, as also the false notion of world, you and I, etc. Even the tendency to objectify ceases. This is freedom. Ramas, holy sir, if object of perception is real, then it shall not cease to be. If it is unreal, then we don't see it in unreal. So how can we overcome this? This is Naveen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what Vasishta says. Yet to Rama, we see that there are holy ones who have overcome this. So Vasishta is acknowledging that yes, what you are saying is right. It is your is all of the creation's direct perception. I would say, I wouldn't say reality. Yet we see there are holy ones who have overcome this. So we see people like Gurudev, we see enlightened master who have overcome this thing. Yeah, this is different, but it is all me, it is all inside me, isn't it? So there are examples, living examples around us. So, okay, fine, it is our rock solid experience, but then you see Gurudev, then you see enlightened masters, and then they are the role models. So have faith. There comes the faith that, okay, there might be a possibility. uh, External objects like space, etc., and psychological factors like I, etc., exist only in name. In reality, neither the objective universe, nor the perceiving self, nor the perception as such, nor void, nor inertness exist. Only one is cosmic consciousness, chitta. In this, it is the mind that conjures up the diversity, diverse actions and experiences, the notion of bondage and the desire of liberation. So I wouldn't struggle about understanding the whole creation. This is what I did in my experimentation. I said it is very complex. Where is creator, who creator, whether this is real or unreal. It became very challenging for me. Okay, I'm just sharing my personal experience. But what was always available is I am to me. Okay. So sitting with I am, just see, and just see with your own direct experience. Let's take the a dream is my best tool to understand this knowledge, right? So what happens in your dream? Who conjures up all this space? When you dream, there is space, city, people, object, like whole creation is there inside your dream, isn't it? And who conjured up the diversity? The mind itself. All diverse action experiences and notion of bondage. There are some dreams where I'm still writing the engineering examination and somebody is snatching my that answer sheet and I'm still having that same problem. I have some dreams where I'm like missing my flight, right? So the same experience of bondage, helplessness, object, people, pain, everything comes inside me. The space comes inside me. So what is real, what is unreal? Ashtavakra Gita. What is real, what is unreal? You know that, right? So where you within ourselves we can see this knowledge completely. We don't need to analyze or reflect it from a macro level, right? Just from the very direct perception. Yeah, inside me, every night I create a new world, and morning I wake up, it is dissolved. And I'm least worried about that. Is any one of you worried about the money you lost in your dreams? Or the relatives you left in your dreams? You get it, right? So I'll leave it here. Okay, but it is the mind that conjures up the diversity, diverse action and experiences, the notion of bondage and desire for liberation. Oh, Holy says, what is the source of this mind and how did it arise? Kindly enlighten me. Vasishtha says, after the cosmic, okay. So he talks about all these things. I just don't go there, right? I will strongly recommend read it, but it just goes back into the same thing. Before this objective creation, whatever we feel, nothing was there, only cosmos was there. It self-effulgent and all that thing. It just goes back to the one absolute pure consciousness. In that, all this reflection happen, right? And then it goes back. And I think in past 2 3 pages we have read the same thing, so you can reread again. Okay, but here it is the very important thing in the blue. It says austerity or penance, charity, and the observance of religious vow do not lead into the realization of Lord. Only the company of holy men and maybe holy women also in spirit of equality and the study of true scriptures are helpful as they dispel ignorance and delusion. So what is important? Company of holy people, right? That is where Vasishta says, oh, yet there are people who have overcome that, right? So there are lit candle which may lit us, right? And the study of true scriptures are helpful as they dispel ignorance and delusion. Indeed, when one is convinced that this self alone is real, one goes beyond sorrow on the path of liberation. Answer to Raji, your question is indeed, when one is convinced that this self alone is real, one goes beyond sorrow on the path of liberation. So just getting this thing, oh, seeing, oh, everything comes and goes. When I'm sleeping, whole thing is gone. When I'm dreaming, whole thing is gone. Only in this one third state of confusion, everything looks so real, right? But what stays in sleeping, dreaming, and waking, there is something I am which is constant. Just going back, don't worry about finding creator. This is what I did. I am not finding Lord or creator or God. I just started focusing on I am, which remains constant. All kind of resolution, dissolution, and creation happens, but one thing is constant. And I think it helped me a little bit. My intellect is a little bit more amiable to these ideas. Okay, otherwise it is rebellious. How? Okay, and it is very interesting. You will see. Okay, the next two things. Where does this Lord dwell, and how can I reach him? So that is very important question for all the seekers. Okay, there is some Lord. How can I reach? It is very interesting. Which is the Lord and who can reach where? Okay, that's a different thing. Okay. Vasishtha replied, he who has been described as Lord is not very far. He is the intelligent dwelling in the body. Where is that? Inside this body. He is the universe, though the universe is not he. Your dream is you, but you are not your dream. Okay, so he is the universe, though the universe is not he. He is pure intelligence. So what happened? Vasishtha again repeated the same thing which we have heard multiple times. And then Rama remarked, even a little boy says that Lord is intelligent. What need is there for a special instruction concerning this? What is the need of coming for Yogavasishta session when we have to just hear this, isn't it? This is a teenager Rama, okay, reacting to that. Even a little boy can tell this whole knowledge. And then Vasishtha replied. What he replied? Let's see. Ah, he acknowledges the teenage spirit within the Rama. We all have our teenage spirit. Ah, one who knows that pure intelligence is the objective universe knows nothing. So you cannot find the pure intelligence or creator or this in the objective universe. You cannot find anywhere. It's very clearly denies that, right? You cannot go to temple. You cannot find in the book. You cannot find in any ideology, right? So it is underlying. One who knows that pure intelligence is the objective universe knows nothing. Sentient in the universe and sentient is the soul jiva. The sentient creates the knowable and gets involved in the sorrow. Reflect inside yourself. You are sentient, our inside us, we are sentient, right? We created the knowable. If you didn't know that person whom you married, can you get into sorrow? You created a knowable. I'm just like creating, right? So whatever you know, the sorrow comes from that only. You knew about a job by your effort, imagination, AI, and then we got into the trouble. So this sentient thing inside us, that the consciousness, livingness, awareness, that created a knowable, that imagination, whatever, and then got into sorrow. When there is cessation of knowable, the flow of attention is toward which is not knowable. Now, very interesting thing is the flow of attention. The attention is very important. What you are, where you are placing the attention. You are placing the attention on the family and all these blah blah objects. It gives its own experience, the perception and this thing. But when the flow of attention is towards what is not knowable, we cannot know. It is very explicitly telling it is not knowable. Okay, but when the attention flow towards that which is not knowable, which is your meditation and kriya and deep sanyam and all that, then there is fulfillment and one goes beyond sorrow. Without the cessation of knowable, one's attention cannot be finally turned away from the knowable. You cannot meditate before your TV, right? The knowable will not let you go closer to the your own reality. Mere awareness of the involvement of jiva in samsara is of no use. But if the Supreme Lord is known, this sorrow comes to an end. Then again he asks, Holy Sir, please describe the Lord. Vashishta replied, the cosmic intelligence in which the universe as it was ceased to be is the Lord. I.e., before your world, my world, everything arises in that space chidakas inside us where we perceive everything. Before anything, knowable thing comes, that is the Lord. In him, subject relationship appears to have ceased as such. It happens with all of us every time. During the transition into waking, sleeping, sleeping, dreaming, dreaming, waking, and during meditation, the subject object relationship ceases. He is the void in which universe appears to exist. In him, even cosmic consciousness stands still like a mountain. Rama asks, how can we realize the Lord and realize the unreality of universe that we have come to regard as real? Very beautiful. Unreality of the universe that we have come to regard as real. Vashishta answered, the Lord can be realized only if one is firmly established in the unreality of universe. Even as the blueness of sky is unreal. We see the sky as blue, right? That is a very direct perception. Now we struggle, we fight, we debate. Sky is blue, and somebody says, no, sky is not blue. It is just a what you call aberration of light, which is giving the color. We can debate forever. But the whole understanding that the world appearance is a confusion Lord can be only realized. Lord is nothing. The pure consciousness, which is you, me, everyone. Lord cannot be realized only or can be realized only if one is firmly established in the unreality of the universe, even as the blueness of the sky is real. Dualism presupposes unity and non-dualism suggests dualism. Only when the creation is known to be utterly non-existent, the Lord is realized. The simple way I tell my mind is, it is real, unreal, don't struggle with that. Just know it is reflected inside me. I am perceiving this. And what is what is perceiving that? So my intellect is not violent. It is not rebelling. It is not questioning whether my mouse is real or not real. I just say, okay, it is reflecting inside me. I am experiencing inside me. Okay. So let me give lesser importance to this. Okay, so be it. I don't have to worry about my mouse, right? Just this idea of this creation is unreal. We are going to fight. No, my toilet paper is real. My this is real, and we'll forget about Brahman. Will fight about the reality of that. So whatever way your intellect doesn't rebel, you just go there. But the whole thing is until we see this whole thing is reflection inside me only. All the perception reflects inside me only. All the objects reflects inside me only, and it is constantly changing, changing, changing. It is like a movie displayed on a what do you call film curtain, whatever you call, right? The
Screen.
screen, yeah. The scenes changing on the screen. As long as we debate about these scenes being real, Though they appear so real, it's very difficult to understand what is the screen. Okay, when the gaps happens, like in the movie intermission happens, when there is no scene coming, then you say, oh, this is white screen. I thought it is Gabbar Singh. I thought it is whatever is that, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I thought it is mountain. I thought it is gun. Ah, I now see it is a white curtain. All that thing is just a reflection of light. And so far, I have been taking it as real. And then after that, it doesn't matter how many times that movie runs, you know that, okay, fine, I enjoy all this thing. But the reality is that is the white screen. Does it make sense? Okay. And what is that gap? What is that intermission? Sometime total cessation of the thoughts, which is Sudarshan Kriya, deep Sahas Samadhi, right? Hollow and empty meditation. Some point you are aware and there are no scenes reflecting and there is a I am, and then you know, oh, this is I am. Without thoughts, without perception, without object, without all this sensation, I am. Beyond that, it is your problem. Come for my next silence course. We'll talk more. No, I'm just joking, right? So we will. Why? What method is this known, and why should not comes to an end? Okay. So now let's read this one last, and then we stop. Rama asked, "Holy sir, by what method is this known?" This is the question, Rajesh. Right? And what should I know by which knowable come to an end? Knowable coming to an end doesn't mean that everything will collapse, right? It is not like all our families will go away and all that thing, right? It is just the grip, right? I think it's a very interesting. I also don't fully understand this thing, right? But I'm trusting that okay, once I understand, I am with my sense of I amness. The world continues. The movie continues without worrying about that, but I am not disturbed by sorrow. I'm not disturbed by the pains of day to day life, right? There is more freedom. And I'll see what is the next episode, right? Once the next episode of my experience happens, I will definitely notify all of you immediately. Okay. Until that, stay tuned. Okay. So, but Vasista replied, the wrong notion is that this world is real has become deeply rooted on account of persistent wrong thinking. All the time wrong thinking. I am body, I am this body, I am this body, this world. It is continuous self hypnotism. However, it can be removed that very day on which you resort the company of holy men and women and to study of the holy scripture. That is why very important to go and meet someone like Gurudev, company of holy men and study of holy scriptures, which you are already doing. Of all scriptures, this Maharamayana is best. What is found here is found elsewhere. What is not found here is not found anywhere else. However, if one doesn't wish to attend this session, one is welcome to attend anybody else's session. There is no objections to this. Okay, we will stop here reading. Okay, so does it make sense? That repeated, it gives the idea that this world is so real. We never question. Have we ever questioned that? Is my pain real? Is my anger real? Is my this feeling real? And we know, like 2 hours later, we just say, "Arey yaar, Bina, why I did get angry, isn't it? Why did I get sad about this? Why did I felt like this, right?" But at that moment, it is so real. So what is happening? We are believing in one set of wrong understanding, then move to the next, to move to the next, move to the next, without questioning. I keep bothered by the same set of problems, same set of people, same emotion. What is the reality? What never changes? Have you ever seen this thing? I'm giving a little more practical thing, but this is a direct path of enlightenment, perception. If you just say, I got it, all this thing is just a changing scenes, but they are reflected where? Within me. I am the screen. The emness is that screen on which all these things are coming and going. It can be a big leap. But for that, like listen to Gurudev. Gurudev says, life is like a dream. Life is like a dream. He's very, very smart. He's very diplomatic. If he says the world is unreal, half of us will run away. Okay, man, let's go and take care of family and work and all, right? So he's very gently, he's moving, he's shifting our understanding, right? That from one position to other thing, that dream is unreal, right? But he says, oh, life is like a dream. So it is unreal, 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 unreal. I think last session we had a very good discussion about that, right? So you can feel free to listen to that. But we stop here. So close your eyes. Close your eyes. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out. Another deep breath in and out. One more deep breath in and out. The definition of real is which doesn't change, doesn't modify, doesn't go away. And definition of unreal is it appears to be there, but it constantly changes, 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 and goes away one day. See in your life what has been real, what hasn't been real, what has been unreal, and what hasn't been unreal. All your friends, family, job, emotions, all those situations, did they go through constant change or not? Your visa situation, your financial things, all the story, did they remain constant or they keep changing? Your own body, did it remain constant or it kept changing? Ideology, did they remain constant or kept changing? But the sense of I am, did it change? Did it ever change? Yesterday it was same, day before yesterday was same, today is the same. Test it tomorrow, is it different? 20 years back it was same, 40 years back it was same. Did MNES ever change? So what is real? The definition of real is unchanging, immutable. Unreal is snake and rope, vivartan. It is transforming, but where you perceive all your friends, you perceived inside you. Your body, you perceived inside you. Emotions, where you perceived inside you. Anger, feelings, plans, images, were they ever away from your perception? The whole world is, was there even a single instance, a single object which was outside your perception? If not, can you create a situation where something you will ever know which was outside your perception? If not, then what is the reality? It's like holographic images, right? One side you see a picture, you move few angles, the picture changes into something else. Then you go few more angles to left or right, a different picture comes. The world is like a holographic projection. The only thing is we need to shift our angle of vision perception from a very solid reality, from the vantage point where mind is right now, to a complete imagination inside your perception. Try shifting little by little or all at once, your choice. Take a deep breath in, slowly let go. Another deep breath in and gently let go. Company of holy men, holy people. Study of the scriptures. Study of the scriptures may rattle us, But the company of holy men, women, they anchor us to the reality. May you have the fortune of being in the company of holy people like Gurudeva.
आणि याने टीव्ही घालून असते ते फोटो देखितलो लई चांगला बोलुसला.
Deep breath in and slowly let go. Another deep breath in and gently let go. Whenever you feel complete, slowly and gradually, we may open our eyes. Good. Comment, questions?
I'll add something. From today's session, I felt like the spider web, right? We create our own. I create my own spider web, and then I stuck there. I don't know how to come out of it. That's what I could immediately think. The perception, the thoughts, my world, whatever I created, it's I am the one who's creating it, and then I get stuck in that. And I feel like today's session kind of gives exit, like how to come out of it, kind of not exited it, but at least I understand this is all my perceptions, like that. Understanding, more than understanding, I experienced it, I would say. Thank you so much, Prabhat.
Good. Don't beat Lakshmi. It is all your problem.
Yeah.
But just seeing like detaching yourself, right? That it
Yeah.
seems so real, virtual reality, right? Just detaching a little bit. No need to run away from this. Detaching. That is vairagya, the power of vairagya. Because without vairagya, it looks so real. When you, it's okay, it's fine. Slowly, it helps. Naveen?
Um, no, while we were talking about creation, a thought came. That thought is about similarity. One of the passages there said, the creator out of his own omnipresence, omnipotence, his very thoughts materialize. And a thought went across to me that in Bible, Genesis, God, it said that God said, let there be light, and there was light. So it is possible a thought of light can actually materialize light. Just a similarity.
Yeah. The reality is light is just a radiation. Light need eyes to say that it is light, right? There are alpha, gamma, so many radiation, right? So light can only be observed when there is a that perception, there is sensory this thing. It's a little deeper. So I agree what you're saying, but I'm saying that it is really a little bit more deeper. And then, yeah. So
Sure.
but it is just every day you are creating your light. You sleep and you say, let there will be a new world. And there is a new world created, new friends, new space, everything. Even if you close your eyes, you are daydreaming. What you are doing is you are saying, let there will be this type of world. When you are fighting someone inside your mind, you are saying, let there be that person and let that person listen to my this dialogue. Okay. Let I have this kind of a spouse, and in your mind you give all the peace of mind to that. So all the time we are doing exactly the same thing, nothing different. Make sense?
Good.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good. What else, Shweta?
So I mean, the thought just came, and like I know I'm not looking for solution, but when you said right, we keep doing that in our mind. So what came to my mind? So even like the manifestation thing which we do, right? We are just creating more web for ourselves. Like, do we create more web when we want to manifest? There's so much of about law of attraction.
Nothing, Shweta. It is such amazing thing is that after all this thing, we again go for web. We never go for a spider. After all these 2 hours of this thing, you should see where is the spider, not where is the web, right? You should forget about like how much web you are creating. You should say, okay, where is my spider, right? That is where that is why it requires repeating same thing. Every page it is the same thing. He's saying creator, it is imagination, it is unreal. Then we start saying, oh, whether this kind of picture is a good picture or that picture, are we creating good picture or bad picture? Nobody is asking me. Ah, I got it. I am the one who is imagining, right? So I would say, forget about the web. Look for the spider.
But also to that point, Prabhatji, like I, if my focus or if our focus goes to just the if me or the spider or web, right? That if we are centered, then everything, as Gurudev also says, right? It just happens. Like you're not doing. If we come to that center, um, yeah. I mean that was just a thought.
So I have to repeat that. You say your realization as a question. You're right. Okay. The only thing is how long you are in that space. That is important. Can we increase that?
Yeah.
Can we increase that duration to
Yeah.
be in center? That's it. Yeah.
But the session was deep, right? What, like even when you're listening, what if something happens inside which you cannot explain? Probably, it was a deep session. So
You know, deep session is an attribute. I will totally take it as a compliment. But that is why we come here, right? That
definitely.
when we listen, something transformatory happens, right? So that is the purpose of listening. Punah, repeated. Let's check with Vicky and one more person, and then we close the session. Vicky, any comment?
I have nothing to say.
Very good. Stay in that space. It is a good space. Okay. Last one. Anyone wants to go for that? Roberta, Pooja, anybody wants to say something? And then Christina, and then we stop.
Prabhaji, you did say something about the five senses, right? Through that we perceive, and that's our world. What happens? I was thinking of somebody who does not have it. Somebody who cannot see, for example, has no
I,
sight.
I explained this thing to Naveen so much.
Yeah,
Every night we go into that space where there is no perception. When you
yeah,
sleep, all your five senses do not work, right?
yeah.
What happens?
No, when we sleep, there's another stage. No, we go to dream state also.
But there is no sensory perception, right? Dream is a different state, but when
Yeah,
you go beyond dream, what happens? In deep sleep, what happens?
deep sleep.
What happens?
Nothing happens.
That's it. So if there is no sensory this one, right? It's almost impossible to have life, right? So you will find people with four senses, three senses, two senses. You will not find one who has zero senses. That is coma. That is deep sleep, right? If people cannot eat, fine. They cannot see, fine. They cannot smell, fine. They cannot hear, fine. But there is always some sense, right? Touch.
Oh, touch.
Yeah, some sense. If that is also gone, that is like coma. That is like deep sleep. Coma is deep sleep. But then also there is a numbness, right? Coma doesn't mean they are dead. Coma means they just don't perceive, right? There's a lesser perception. Sometimes they hear in coma, sometimes they can smell in coma, God knows. Like there are different like accounts of people who went into coma and come out, right? So it will be like coma. Coma doesn't mean that they are not there. So that is like kind of the consciousness which doesn't perceive. It is that objectless conscious. Are they enlightened? I don't know if they are enlightened. It could be very much possible is that consciousness just imagined, oh, I have no perception. So they get into the coma. Okay. It's a very
Even,
interesting thing. Hmm.
even if we have the five senses and then also our perception, we don't understand certain things. We just don't visualize it. What we know is what we know, our world only. We don't see anything beyond that. We don't have understanding of it.
So what is the problem?
So you were saying that everything is within us, our world, everything is what you create like that. But then there's this other place where you can think of an
I think
ocean.
we cannot handle this, what we understand. Why you want to know other things which you cannot like?
No, that's take what happens. That's curiosity,
No, what I'm saying is all those are hypothetical things. Okay,
Okay.
that is where you get stuck into scenery. Okay, there are other realm, this thing, that thing, but to experience those realm, it need to go to the experiencer.
Oh.
Go to the experience first. Like you want to see a different cinema. Okay, you are seeing this realm. It is movie one. Now you say, oh, I have heard Gurdev sees movie three, movie four also. Now you are excited about movie three, movie four. Why you are worried about that? Go and focus on who is watching the movies, right? Then we worry about what is happening in movie three, movie four, movie five, right? What is important is the I wouldn't say person, like whatever is that faculty which is observing, who is experiencing. So the whole idea is move the attention, the flow of attention from the senses to the observer. And then we'll see. Okay, last Christina, and then we are done. Christina was trying to say something, and then we are done. No, nothing. Okay, good. So thank you, everyone. And with this, how many sessions we have completed? 7 sessions, right? So before we all come for the next session, I would say read the story of Leela. We will not read it fully. We will just discuss that thing. Next session, we will just discuss the story of Leela. And there is one more very interesting story. Okay. The story of Leela is a very long story. We should read that. I think Raji will send that thing. And there is one more story I want us to read. That is a much shorter story. Um 1 second. I'm just seeing that. Ah, yeah. Yeah, story of Lavana, which is the last one. Okay, story of Leela, story of Lavana. We read it, and then we will next one we will discuss these two stories because the same thing is repeated in every story. So we will discuss these two stories. So tell everyone that come after reading these two stories and with the context that how time and space come into the picture in our arise and fall in our consciousness. That is the theme. Okay, so from that angle read these two stories and then we'll come and discuss. Good.
Sure,
So,
Prabhaji.
Prabhati, can you repeat which is the last one?
Last story is the story of Lavana, Lavana.
Okay, Lavana. Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and the story of Leela and the story of Lavana. We will discuss. You guys come after reading because these 4 5 stories will need 10 more sessions. So, but it is the same theme repeated. So hopefully, yeah. Okay. So check.
Thank you, Prabhaji. Jai Gurudev.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhat.
Bye.
Jai Gurudev.
Very good. Bye.
Jai Gurudev.